marksman down on the bot side for game number 1. So we'll see if that changes here in the second.
Be ThunderTalk opting for first pick with their right of first selection. Top Esports back over to blue side. You see a lot of those bot lane mages continuing to be banned away, or at least picks that can be flexed into that role. JackeyLove, of course, already proving to be very proficient on a number of them, including the Ziggs and the Syndra. Jace, final ban here for TT. Junhao and Keshi both are able to play that one. Let's see what TT want to select here with their first pick.
And there we go. All right, Snake Lady taken. Early doors for Heru if you want to make a statement, make a name for yourself. Taking a very high APM mage into the mid lane, definitely a good way to go about it. And gives ThunderTalk a little bit of that late game insurance policy as well. Cassiopeia, a really solid scaler. Definitely a pick that we can expect high damage from as we move later and later on into this game. Falls into the pitfall of being a mid-range mage and can be outranged by the likes of a Victor.
And hey, can still be flexed down into the bottom lane too. We've seen some Cassiopeia bot lanes at times. Not sure if On has that in his bag, but at least leave some questions here for Top Esports. Cassio, maybe not a great matchup for the Camille, which already has been locked in though. Zhuo getting another opportunity for revenge. He played it in their second game the other day against Team WE. Ended up being one of the most bloody games that we've seen in the LPL so far. Seems like ThunderTalk have a good answer for it though with that Shen.
This has become the go-to answer. Feels like you've just had the top lane counter just moved down to the support role, and it just so happens that Shen was also a really good answer, or a really good support pick anyway. The obvious power of the Shen is that W that you can just keep all auto attacks at bay. Obviously down on the bot side where we tend to see marksmen is a pretty big deal to be able to prevent those autos coming through, and the Camille damage obviously largely mitigated by that also. You were quite right though, we have to highlight that this could still easily be a flex on both sides as well. Both the Victor and the Cassio can both still go down to that bot side and make the power of that Twilight Shroud a little less than we might have liked.
Yeah, in other worlds, in other metas and in other iterations of seasons past, we're saying, hey, both these teams locked in their top sides in this first rotation, but that certainly is not the case, and certainly still leave a lot up to discussion. You see a Vayne and an Olaf ban away from Keshi on TES's side, maybe setting up for a more low damage champion for Zuian, something like the Cassante or an Orsion. Not 100% sure. Oh wait, no, what am I talking about? He's locked in the Gnar already. They're banning away Gnar counters. I should pay attention to the draft.
Gnar could be the mid laner, right? Victor can be the bot lane.
True. Shout out Tongyuan playing
We have
Gnar
to
today.
remember these are not consolidated picks here. I've seen Senna Wukong be played. You know, like there are many ways to roll this dice and to set up Top Esports' composition. Obviously, overwhelming odds have it not being Gnar in the mid lane and that Pantheon slotting into the jungle. But this does still open up for that flexibility, right? You can still put the Victor bot lane, keep it mid lane, depending on how ThunderTalk round out their composition. As for what these comps have so far, on both sides, it's a lot more, or for ThunderTalk rather, they have got an element of stand and deliver with the Cassiopeia, as well as that dive with the Neferi Shen duo. Same really for Top Esports, where they've got Victor trying to stand firm, trying to do the damage, and then Camille, Gnar, Pantheon all looking to dive into the backline and make a bit of a statement here.
That's
a top laner, right?
Locked in for ThunderTalk. It could go to On, but in the past we've seen this be a counter in the top lane against a Gnar. Shout out to Xiaoshu over on JDG at the time, I should say. He played it against Breathe on IG, and it looks like that could be what they're leaning towards with a Melhover right now.
Okay, well, we'll see how this gets rounded out. Annie gets locked in, which means that you're expecting Cassio in the bot lane, Annie into the mid lane, Tristana in the top side. Obviously an opportunity that you could swap the Cassio and the Tristana around and take Cassio top Tristana bot lane alongside a Shen, punish this Victor who is now looking to go down into the bot side. But again, just yesterday, we saw a Kali be played bot lane in the LEC. It was Super for MKOI who played a Kali bot just for the love of the game. So we'll wait until 30 seconds to see where these players are all going and seeing what the rounded out comps look like.
If we see JackeyLove playing Akali in the LPL, I will have seen everything at that point. Looks like we're awaiting the final hovers. Is still looking like it's going to be that Victor down in the bottom lane with Junhao. You do get some good synergy there. You know, they have the hook shot to lock somebody down. You can throw the gravity well underneath them and really put up a ton of crowd control over on top Esports' side. I would try to set expectations for this draft group, but I'm really not too sure how this one's going to work out.
No, I'll do my best, and we'll take a look at what everybody's pulled in. I think that the scaling, I would give over to top esports. I think the Akali does a really good job at shutting down a Cassiopeia. Similarly, a Victor can keep a Cassiopeia at arm's length. The Tristana is really the X factor for TT here. It's all about Keshi and how well they can reset around a fight. Finding that kill is going to be incredibly important, not just because they've got Tristana, but because the Neferi is there as well. Get that reset is going to be how they succeed.
Getting resets and winning out on these maybe more explosive fights on TT's side. Hey, they wanted to pull off an upset. This is a good opportunity to do it. They got some spice here, even a level 1 as we get ready for game 2.
Very typical level 1 for these new age supports as well.
Yeah, being in the top lane.
It just 2v1 laning and seeing how that goes. Exhaust down onto Junhao.
Hey, it's just kind of a regular bot lane matchup. Some ranged champions on both sides and a support. Lethal tempo procced by Keshi already as he's looking to continue the pressure down. Flash in with the hook shot, but only finds Feather. Now Keshi can look to continue to rain down some damage. Has the Ignite on top of him, so he'll be down to about 200 HP. And now it will be the Camille heading back to the bottom lane.
Excellent gank. I'm going back to bot lane with no summoner spells. But I have burned, I think, the exhaust from Keshi. Yeah, good job.
The meta has always been bot lane burn summoner spells level 1. Now it's top lane burn summoner spells level 1. It turns out it's the supports that are the problem.
Yeah. We'll be banning Feather, and then subsequently anybody else that goes up to the top side in owing to that. I mean, this is the AD carry's dream. Why couldn't they do this when we were playing scaling marksman? That's going to be their question.
It looks like they're going to continue to scale here as Tian at level 3. Going for a play in the mid lane. Junhao actually not going top bot lane. He's going top lane after his reset. Finds the stun onto Heru. Hook shot goes wide, but it should not matter. First blood going the way of our level 1 Camille. Speaking of level 1, Feather no longer that as he digs 2 off of that play. Now looking for a 2v2 play. Tian jumps forward, finds the flash stun, and will make it a 2-for-1 for now. Immediately teleported coming forward and on into the mid lane. That Cassiopeia is not supposed to be here. Going in for the Twin Fangs onto Creme. The burn will finish him off. It's 2-3 in favor of ThunderTalk.
Okay, and that's what you get here with being able to sort of move your bot lane, quote-unquote, around and be able to find some of those kills. Last time here that we saw a Victor down on the bot side was actually for top esports. Yeah, Loken taking that one up against JDG. Top esports, though, a little bit behind through this early game, and Junhao continuing here to be the catalyst for all things top esports, good or bad.
Really is 2019 all over again if you really think about it. Could be a good sign if you're an LPL fan at the very least, as last time it was that year, good things ended up happening. But for ThunderTalk, good things happened in that early game play. Get 2 kills for On, and he actually doesn't end up losing out on too much in terms of the CS department. He's able to get down bot lane pretty quick and even things up. Feather back up to the top side, looks for Zuian, but he hops away.
Alrighty, and doesn't even burn the flash there. I know that Feather, without their flash, isn't able to follow up necessarily, so Zuian with just a hop, able to get out of there, and I think it might have been you that I was on the cast with when I sort of proclaimed the Roodood school of support thought. Long since have I been mentioning that you should just get level 3 and then leave lane, and people have just taken that. Yeah, people have just taken that even further. Yeah, let's... Give me my CC, give me my movement spell, and I'm out of here.
You know, if you're, Camille's support, you don't need the wave clear with your W. You don't need the auto attack reset with your Q. The E's the most important part of the kit. Same with Feather. You're not farming at all. You might as well just go for that hard CC. As it looks like they now have decided to really surprisingly roam into the bottom lane.
Oh my god, JackeyLove and Arna, they're just tearing their hair out
they're
right
the highest
now.
level Jackie was the highest level in the game for about a second. He was level 5 before anybody else was. Just he's just been sitting down there, farming up.
Again, just the mages have to be played down on the bot side to allow this to happen. But all bot lane players are just saying, why couldn't you have had this meta when we're playing Vayne? When I'm playing Zeri? Why can't I just be allowed to sit, level up beyond anybody else, and then come into a team fight already very scaled? Want to highlight that Arn did get a chance to obviously go back to base, spend those couple of kills, and picked up a tier very early on. So he's going to have that stacked nice and early, probably before he even finishes up the Seraphs.
The Giga Chad move by Tian. He backed with a control ward there, and Feather just said, "Okay, sir. Yes, sir. You can head back to base." And that's what happened. Swifty boots in for On as well. So really going for like the long con scaling game. The early game damage not the priority here for the Snake Lady. Still gonna be able to find a decent chunk onto Jackie.
You land the Q. The rest of the Cassiopeia damage does follow inevitably as, again, looking at the build path. No AP just yet, so that's going to become more and more problematic as the game gets later, but that's a discussion for another time.
Meanwhile, up in the top side, it has been Keshi with a pretty good lead, but that's going to get cancelled very easily after Zuian goes forward with the Gnar. He had the rocket jump cancelled and had Tian in the wings as well. Flash wall up comes through, and the Tristana is taken down. It's Yordle on Yordle violence as the final tower shot will make it an even trade.
Alrighty, 1 for 1 then on the top side. Zuian with this very armor-oriented build, still able to come out, I guess, a little bit on top there of the play, but it is coming at a cost here. I say a cost. It's coming at a cost for top esports as Junhao does find the dragon as well.
And now, going to be some fighting down in the bottom side. Petrifying Gaze thrown out onto the TES bottom lane, and Junhao is level 6. A teleport is coming in from Zuian, so disincentivize any further engagement. But it is going to allow for Keshi to basically get all of the gold that he lost right back into his pockets with a full wave and a tower plate.
Oh, there you go. And that's why we've been putting Tristana top lane. There we go. That's the intention. That's the idea behind it. But a pretty decent commit to try and find something not actually garnered as we get to see, oh, lovely, a cinematic of everything happening up on this top side. As, takes him out of the ulti, or out of the W even. Well-timed exhaust. I think that Keshi, unfortunate to not collect on the reset of the W. And Zuian, if he goes mini just a second sooner, his character model is short enough to not be hit by the tower. Or he gets the movement speed out, so yeah. Pretty brutal for Zuian to fall there, but does so.
Also loses some HP off of returning back to that mini form. You see Zuian rushing that Warden's Mail, as you mentioned at the top. Keshi kind of following suit with the plated steel cap. It's funny that both sides opting to go defensive in this 1v1. Perhaps knowing how heavily they've been targeted by other areas of the map. They have not been able to have their oh-so-honorable 1v1. Speaking of, it's another 2v1 situation for top esports and make it 3. Keshi unable to even rocket jump until he's already 200 HP. The Buster Shot only to deny some time to allow for him to pick up a couple more minions. He gets the full wave, but top esports equalize the kills.
Yeah, Tian ends up coming in for that kill, and Zuian intentionally leaving it though, as top esports now looking to fight again in this mid lane.
Junhao jumps up to deny that hook shot, but Feather in a bit of a precarious spot as well. Creme looking to finish him off with the perfect execution. Twilight Shroud comes out. Should be the Akali, able to eventually take him down. It actually looks like he doesn't want to go forward because he knows that Heru is potentially there as well. Meanwhile, we see Junhao going all the way around the Summoner's Rift down to the bottom lane, where he now is sitting in a Tri-Brush, getting hunted down still by Zhuo and JackeyLove, but the Neferi will live at the cost of the Grubs going TES's way.
That's I guess that's a fair enough price that they'll be looking to pay more than anything else, as for the most part here, yeah, feels another gank.
He's waiting potentially for the rocket jump, or maybe did he already use it? Keshi just going to go down again. These are the perils of a ranged top laner. Putting your marksman up here does give you push, does give it a CS lead, but it leaves you very vulnerable to ganks.
And you think that the Tristana might be able to play that little bit more safe, but with the Buster Shot and with the rocket jump still not enough. Again, Feather on top.
And so is On, making his way up here. Miasma going to delay Zuian a bit. He throws into the wall with the Gnar, but Junhao up here to equalize the deaths up in the top side.
It's just a feeding ground for everybody else. They're just going top, collecting a kill, and then going back to the rest of the map. And I mean, Keshi and Zuian, I don't know that they've had a 1v1, but yeah, just wherever they go, it's like, hey, these are the currently under-leveled people in the game, so let's just try and make their life as miserable as possible. And I think that for top esports, denying the Tristana is the important thing to do. Again, the Cassia, I think, plays much more difficultly in the later stages of this game, whereas for top esports, a behind Gnar is still going to do the same thing.
Oh, we got a full-on 3v3 happening down here. JackeyLove immediately gets blown up by Heru with the Tibbers. Creme coming in for a bit of a re-engage. Throws at the first proc of the ulti. Could continue to dive in, but he likely knows it's a one-way trip. So instead, top esports will back away despite losing their bot laner for free.
Yeah, I mean, that's a massive play for ThunderTalk here, being able to pick up a kill in a 3v4 rather. Junhao's able to ransack the top side of Tian's jungle, and On here finding a lot of gold, relatively uncontested, on or as the Cassiopeia. So a really good sequence for ThunderTalk, as Keshi once again in trouble.
Yep, Zuian face tanking right now, goes forward with flash is Shuo, but Keshi will flash away. Tian pops the E for some movement speed, looking to close the gap, and he will be able to do so with a flash. Keshi now worth less than 200 gold with how hard he's been targeted in game 2.
Yeah, and there's an element here of is this Keshi's fault? Because
yes,
I would
champion in.
Yeah, I guess so. It's the AoE global taunt that Tristana top provides. It's the center support of top lane.
Tristana top is the center support. Connecting the dots.
Whenever I play center support, I always get focused by 5 people every single time.
Seems like a very personal anecdote.
It's a global taunt. I promise you. Go pick center support and see how much you get targeted. You'll find out.
All right, I'll keep that in mind next time I'm down in
next time you get autofill to support.
Yeah, maybe I'll lock in center. Maybe that's not a good thing, as you're mentioning here. Yeah, this I have played my fair share of like Varus and Tristana top lanes, and I do feel the global taunt as Keshi is feeling it right now. ThunderTalk gonna be okay with that thing. They're gonna their second dragon this time bottom lane.
I mean, they're doing a good job, right? At just wherever Keshi goes, let's do something elsewhere. This Tristana is being fed to not just the wolves, like just literally anybody that can come into the top lane. As admirable as taking bone plating is, I don't really know that it's done anything for Keshi in the aid to survive, let's say.
Yep, the 4 deaths definitely speak to that. As Keshi, despite of course having a very strong first game of the series, he's struggling a little bit more, but as you say, maybe not completely his fault. Might get a 2v2 skirmish in the mid lane as Junhao completely walking over vision. It looks like Tian able to make sure he does not go for that play.
There is also going to be a time where these guys actually get to 1 versus 1, and then they think, this is amazing, lovely stuff, and then immediately Pantheon ult, Shen ult, and it just becomes another 2v2 or another 2vx situation where the top laners are trying to do something admirable, and ultimately do end up getting ruined once again as another little bit of supportal combat goes down. I like that even though in the support role, Camille still just goes top lane build regardless.
Yeah, just go with the Thunder Sky anyway. It is a very strong item on the champion. I guess going Mikhail's wouldn't be as fun. This is what my Camille supports in solo queue end up building too. Yeah.
Okay, Heru in trouble.
Oh, immediately Tibbers on top of Tian, who goes in with a Grand Starfall. Creme, though, still looking to assassinate him with the Shuriken flip. Not able to finish it, though, as the Stand United comes at a perfect time for Feather. Creme goes down. It's a 2-for-0 in the mid lane skirmish.
And that's another really big pickup for ThunderTalk. They were baiting that beautifully. Heru just sort of sat in the mid lane looking like a real easy pickup for Top Esports. They didn't know, however, that Junhao off in the wings was ready to collapse. Heru immediately puts the Tibbers down, and they're able to find 2 in that exchange.
So, the rest of the map for ThunderTalk still looking good. Now they are headed into the top side. Junhao with the call to pack, going to deny a little bit of that damage. The ultimatum has come forward from Zhuo, and he's locked into the Arcane Storm. Wow. Force it to flash away. Teleport coming in for Heru. Doesn't have Tibbers, but still has some damage. Keshi, face tanking 3 members, will get taken down amidst the exhaust, and it'll be a second kill on to the Shen. On will go forward, able to even up the kill score a little bit as Zuian has approached Mega, will flash away in his own right. It is fisticuffs here in this second game. We've got 18 kills in 15 minutes, and my 19th might be coming soon. Creme gets away from the petrifying gaze and will remain alive in the Twilight Shroud. In goes Junhao once again with the Hex Gates, looking to chase down the Akali, and Creme will be able to get out scot-free.
Okay, I mean, I don't even know how that kill trade went overall. So many back and forth exchanges, but now finds a quick pick under the turret. Creme, what are you doing, buddy? Mercs are not saving you from that one. Heru finds a quick pick underneath the tier 1 turret. I was about to praise Creme for the dancing around on the Akali that they were able to do in that fight, but yeah, stepping a little bit too close there, thinking that the Mercs were going to give them a little bit more safety than they did.
Oh man, and the fighting just does not stop. Zuian once again hunting Keshi down, approaching Mega. Not going to find the ulti back. So, his top laners will once again be safe, at least temporarily, as the reinforcements have arrived.
Sorry, what was that, Grapes?
Yeah, just play safe. Just play safe here for Zuian. He's hitting Mega, soon to be exhausted here. Away from the ulti is Junhao. Nicely done by him. And finally, Keshi gets some revenge.
And this is why I wanted to praise Junhao. If we get a look at the scoreboard, which has been rare and few and far between in this game, but Junhao, yet to fall, has been very active on the map. One of the leading parts of ThunderTalk. Only 1.1k up over Tian, who himself is 5-2-1. He's not having a bad game, but has been spending a lot of time trying to kill Keshi. And in fairness, successfully killing Keshi. Let's take a look at the kills for Tian and the deaths for Keshi. They line up quite nicely. But it's come at a cost. It's come at Junhao, who has just been a little bit more efficient with their timing, being able to clear out some camps on the top side, being able to occasionally go for a counter jungle, and also being able to pick up those 2 Drakes early as well.
Yeah, not only has he been able to contribute to the same number of kills as the entirety of Top Esports, Junhao also 35 CS up, so a bit of a reverse to the story that we told in game number 1. Junhao significantly ahead in levels over his opposing jungler. We have Dragon spawning in 5 seconds. ThunderTalk would love to pick up the soul point. Zhuo will be the target here of Feather, and Heru gets 100 to 0'd. Zhuo unable to input a single ability as he face checks the bush at just the wrong time.
Yeah, we were skeptical of the Zhuo Camille from the first series that we got to see from them, but that's another instance here where actually maybe that one needs to be put on the back burner, or just give it another week in scrims.
You know, as somebody who... Hold on. Well, I was going to maybe defend Zhuo here a little bit as the dragon is picked up. I feel like any support dies to that, right? I mean, that's just like... That's not the champion's fault.
But if you move into that position, that's the player's fault. And you're given that confidence because you have the hook
because
shot.
You're playing Camille. Okay.
Yeah.
You have convinced me.
You know? It's like it's Ricano Bard syndrome. I do the same thing on those champs.
That's it. That's it, Zhuo. You're not allowed to play Camille for the rest of the series.
Bard. Okay, no, you did well by saying the rest of the series. That was good.
Zhuo, of course, the new player for Top Esports. I feel like it's difficult as well for a player like a support to kind of be the only change that a team is making on a roster in this meta, right? Where they have to be so roam-driven, so macro-driven. You see some of the struggles, the growing pains on Top Esports so far. Zhuo, of course, has already some previous synergy with JackeyLove, but maybe not the rest of the team. As we see some more fighting here in the mid lane. Ultimates popped by both Creme and Heru, but Stand United coming on top of the ante as well. Junhao running in to try to close the gap with the ultimate. forces Creme back. The burn from the dogs will give him kill number 5.
Just everywhere here, making... Oh, whoa, hello!
Oh, flash jump forward from Keshi. He really wants the smoke. He's going to flash away from the Arcane Storm. TM, the Comet Spear, not going to connect. And so now on can chase it down to JackeyLove with the Twin Fang. One more will do it as he pierces the heart of the victor. In goes Feather to make it another absolute brawl in the mid lane. It'll be a shutdown here on to On. Keshi jumps forward to take down Zhuo. The Mega Gnar approaching for Zuian, but he's unable to proc the Gnar as another kill goes in favor of TT. They are playing this skirmish heavy game very well and have brought themselves up to a 4,500 gold lead. Tian hunting it down Keshi with the Grand Starfall, but there's still 3 members of TT alive and he won't be able to find the kill.
Oh my word, it's another 4 for 1 that time. I did manage to keep track. TT were doing very well. They found 4 for 1 overall on the map. And to add insult to injury there, Keshi, who sort of threw away their life with that W into exhaust combo. The lesser seen wild turtle in China.
The Malphite
as it's it's definitely one of the plays that we'll get to see from Keshi in his time. And you get to see here on some of the pitfalls of Cassiopeia, you miss the Q, or you don't have the Q on them, your Twin Fangs don't do that much damage. And the fact that On is actually able to survive for so long, very, very impressive. It's sort of a product of Cassiopeia's inbuilt sustain, as now Creme looking for On the Keshi on the top side.
Are we surprised we have another fight? I'm not. Keshi Buster shots Creme away, so he's actually unable to proc the R2. And the Tristana going to survive a little bit, but he's running the wrong way. Fight will ensue, though, as Creme dashes forward just because he has to use the cooldown. JackeyLove very far up with the help of the Arcane Storm, still able to chunk Heru down to about 20% HP. Zuian flash forward, was looking for a Gnar, but it was nicely responded to by TT. Fight that results in only 1 death as Keshi eventually went down. We have the Rift Herald charging up into the top lane tier 1 turret, should be able to take it down. Objective bounty into the hands of TES, and they could look for more with a numbers advantage. Feather gets hit up by the spear, and now it will be JackeyLove jumping into the Herald and taking it out to safety.
I would think that we're surely not looking to go back in with that Herald, and this is the case.
Hold on.
For a fight, though. Hex Gates.
They saw exactly where that Herald was going, and so Junhao and Heru are going to try to punish. Oh, but Junhao gets the dash cancel with the help of Tian. Ultimatum coming out from Zhuo to lock Heru down as well. Feather in the midst of the scrap, On fighting 2v1, finds the petrifying gaze onto Zuian, and Zuian's got a lot of armor, but not a lot of magic just to help him against the Cassio. The rest of his team, though, in some trouble. Keshi rocket jumps forward, be able to take down Tian. Zhuo in a 1v1 against Junhao that he does not win. The dog 6 levels up and is able to get another kill, and Zuian is the last remaining survivor for top esports. Top lane combat just like we like to see, but this time Keshi's got some help. It's a double kill for the Nefiri and an ace for TT.
And it's once again top lane combat ruined by everybody else coming to get involved as Keshi limps away to safety once again on this Tristana. Second time out that they've actually been able to evade the gaze of top esports, who are starting to fall further and further behind. Another fight started by TT getting very aggressive. 4 people here that Junhao jumps into. Manages to get away, uses the flash to dodge out from one side, but then it's Heru, then it's On, doing as much as they possibly can on these actually quite fed carries. Junhao, I mean, I don't know how you're able to survive, really. Just getting so much value out of the Conqueror, value out of Triumph, value out of being 6 levels up over the Camille. Yeah, that's the right reaction.
They'd win the synchronized cheering competition in the Olympics.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 from our
we'll
coaching
put it in.
staff.
Get it in really quick.
They've got a Soul Dragon to fight for now. Tian knows it, and it's going to go in with the Grand Starfall, but the rest of ThunderTalk collapsing onto Zhuo immediately. Heru goes golden and denies the initial engage. Creme in, but he gets locked down by the petrifying gaze, and Junhao is running amok in the backline. Incinerate onto the Akali, and it will be another massive team fight win for TT. They get 4 kills and are looking to push down the mid lane with Baron in their hands. 4
people dead. The dragon picked up by Junhao. The soul here, if he gets it. When he gets it, I should say. And ThunderTalk, their woes of game number 1 slowly being assuaged as they were able to find a similar lead in that first game. But in game number 2, it felt a little bit more stagnant, a little bit more give and take. It's as they've moved into this mid-game that they've actually been able to truly succeed. And it's really Keshi who's been able to bounce back, doing very well on this Tristana. And it's Junhao who once again finds himself just absolutely tearing apart the Rift.
More kills than minutes here for ThunderTalk. They're up 8,500 gold. They have a Hextech Soul, and it looks more than likely that we'll be headed to a decisive game number 3. What a statement here for ThunderTalk. They played TES close in both games, and remember, they open up their Group Ascend journeys with back-to-back matchups against the 1 and 2 seeds from the previous split. You would think that that would mean just early rolling over and learning experiences for ThunderTalk, but they want more than learning. They want the win altogether.
I do want to take a moment to look at the size of the advantage that is being picked up by ThunderTalk and just how far ahead they are. But of course, I'm not going to get the opportunity as Tian getting chased down by a Rylai's.
That lead going to grow
a
little bit as Junhao hits double digits in the kill column. 10, 0, and 7 on the Nefiri.
This is not the same as game number 1 here. Look at the experience across every single role. Keshi 2 levels up, Junhao 3, Heru 3, On 3, 2 for Feather as well. A 9k gold lead, a soul in their back pocket. This is not just a snowball, this is an avalanche raining down on the top esports base.
And they're still Baron buff for another 10 seconds. Top esports have really fallen behind in the ensuing power play. They're going to finally have the base broken open on the bottom side. Tier 3 turret down. Inhibitor likely following as Keshi is able to free hit with nobody able to close the gap. Zuian is currently trying to get a little bit of farm back on the top side. Makes it a 4v5 at the moment for ThunderTalk. But the Baron buff has now expired. The siege here for TT certainly is big though, and immediately bursts down JackeyLove. Already a 1-for-0 as Zuian finally arrives back into the base, but it might be all too late. Feather flashes on top of Tian, makes it a 2-for-0, and the rest of the game should follow suit. Junhao into the fountain, essentially, as ThunderTalk are still 5 strong, looking to send us to a decisive Game 3.
Wave play comes through, the minions not Baron buffed up, and Zuian is mega. Heru dies to the turret.
Okay, wait, Creme. Lands a shuriken flip. Could he E2 forward? Okay, not just yet. Swow hook shots into the inhibitor. In goes the taunt from Feather as well. The Spirit's Refuge doing so much to help the support Shen live. Zuian still in the fountain, but the Nexus is now exposed. JackeyLove going forward, has respawn in with the Proto Belt, but it will only be a 1-for-1. Still 3 members of ThunderTalk holding the line in the enemy base. They will take down the Nexus and go even with TES.
And with 32 kills there in the end, Grapes, ThunderTalk take us to a game number 3. There's playing with your food, and then there's mincing your food around the plate. And top esports were just getting ragdolled around their base. It was not even close to a close contest. And, you know, it felt good for maybe the first 10 minutes or so. But then ThunderTalk, seemingly out of nowhere, just kept on winning fight after fight after fight.
When you put all your ingredients together in the plate once you're done eating, turn it into a soup. Did that when I was little. That mush is what top esports ended up becoming at the very end of that game. ThunderTalk proving that they can play both styles, right? Like they were able to win kind of explosive early games and you know, both of these games, and then now here against top esports able to kind of withstand some pressure. Top esports had some moments where they were able to fight back, and they like the explosive playstyle. We saw it a couple of days ago against WE. But ThunderTalk able to kind of go band for band.
We thought that they would be, or rather we thought that top esports would be. We sort of saw that from them actually in game number 1. It maybe wasn't quite the same style as just going hectic, going crazy with the fights, but what we actually saw was top esports be able to rally back from a deficit. This time, though, just the completely opposite story. We really didn't get any signs of life from top esports. The second they were truly behind, everything collapsed. And this is one of the problems that you find when you're playing against mages, or playing as a mage, as a marksman, that you forget about how to position and what your... as an AD carry, your goal is to stay alive. However, when you turn to playing mages, you can become very indoctrinated into the, okay, I need to use my cooldowns, and you forget about staying alive. Where Jackie, in that exact final fight, dashes into 4 people with a Proto Belt because he's got so many spells to cast, but immediately gets taunted and dies, and just forgets entirely on how to actually position, which I think is one of those things that comes from an absence, really, of experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, what, 7 years since top esports has played a Victor bottom lane, and so it really has been.
The coach wasn't there for that
a while. I guess JackeyLove wasn't even on the team at the time. It was Loken. And clearly some of that was showing here. Tian did his best. He had 9 kills, but Junhao had a couple more.
I mean, look at those scores for. I mean, a Creme game where you go 0-7 and 6 is you will not find that again. Creme is typically very, very impressive. JackeyLove on Majors has looked good, but unfortunately this time round there was just nothing for them to do. Tian really the proponent of a sort of doing what they could with what they got given here, as really everywhere on the map was just getting kind of dumpstered. On, like you said, 8-1 and 12 for a Casio performance, which I'm excited to see more of.
Proving that he could play some of those mage bot laners. So far, we've only seen the Ziggs out of him, so nice to know that he got some other stuff at the ready as well. You know, some of these teams, like ThunderTalk, they weren't at internationals like top esports were, but they were able to watch exactly what was going on, right? And so perhaps they learned a thing or two from some of the top teams in the world during their break.
Yeah, the answer is Malphite ult on Tristana, as we can see here from Keshi. But maybe more so is to maybe get that time to practice the mages and to get an opportunity at seeing what your strengths might be, who can play which mages, what can you end up doing. And on here, clearly very proficient with the Casio. I think there was just a couple of execution errors, but on a Casio, like, it's so many inputs that you have to do that you're going to find some of them in every game, really.
And on, as you mentioned, kind of being that journeyman over the last couple of years, teams like IG, then EDG, now over to ThunderTalk, and being a player that can be a ringer for a team that needed a little bit of a boost, and not just in terms of AD carry gameplay. You see him also able to whip out the mages, and that's an exciting prospect for what TT can look like as we progress throughout this split. If they're able to play a competitive series against BLG and TES, they should be able to remain competitive against anyone.
I think the question is, like you highlight, the depth in champion pool here. And for TT, you're quite right. I'm excited to see what they can do versus the rest of the league. But really, when do we go full circle on the bot lane champion pool? You know, and by full circle, I don't mean we go back to playing marksman. I mean, when do we start playing tanks? You know, when the bot laners have to pull out the Scion. That's you know, that type of thing. I don't think we're a million miles away from what destroys those mages or those bruisers. So it's definitely possible. There were rumors as well. I think this is very UK centric, but more so centered around Irelias and Fioras hitting the bot lane as carries that could end up, you know, taking over a little bit as well. It's not just mages that I've heard of.
Oh, that would be so fun. Just real
the
throwback
to Fiora, yeah.
Such a long time ago, and maybe teams like the TES who have multiple top laners, 369 comes out of retirement, plays some bot lane for the team.
Reckless is going to bench himself again.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows what's about to happen here in this meta? Season 16 has certainly been a wild one in terms of what we have seen, and in terms of gameplay here in the LPL, and in terms of some of these results from our exciting younger teams like ThunderTalk. Evening up our series at 1-1, waiting on the player of the game at this point, but can kind of go a lot of different ways. Surprise, maybe a sleeper MVP pick, Keshi, for taking up all the pressure and still winning.
Yeah, exactly. He gets the honorable votes. I don't know that he gets the MVP. I mean, it's most likely just Junhao for a flawless Neferi game. But Keshi definitely gets the, you know what, buddy, thank you for playing this one, because it could have been so easy for that mental boom to have gone.
Top diff in the Twitch chat as the Nexus is going down. Shout out to Junhao for 21 kill participation in this 33 kill game for TT. That's going to do it here on the caster desk. We're going to head to a short break, and when we come back, we'll have our final game of the day here on LPL English.